Hey guys, this is Marty from owingsart.com, and today we're going to take a look at the Caran Ecridor Fountain Pen. This is a pretty extraordinary writing instrument, and it is made by the Caran Company in Geneva, Switzerland. The Caran Company is celebrating their 100th anniversary this year, so I've always wanted a really nice fountain pen, and so I decided to take the very expensive plunge and go ahead and purchase this. Now, expense depends on what your income level is and things like this, but this is by far the most money I've ever spent on a writing instrument, professional or otherwise. So it ships in a nice box. It's got the 100th anniversary sticker on it. It comes with a couple of cartridges. I'll detail all that out here in a minute, but it also comes with a nice little booklet in several languages which explains how to use the pen and properly change the cartridge and also load ink, because it also comes with a piston ink pump. So built right into the pen, and you actually have to remove that to get the cartridges in. But I'll lay all that out in a minute. Ships in a nice bag, which you have to cut to open. I did that before the video when I first got the pen a couple of days ago. But as soon as you pull the pen out of the packaging, you can feel the weight of it. It's a substantial pen. It's not overly heavy, but you get the sense that you're holding an instrument that's got a lot more quality in it than the average, say, ballpoint or fountain pen out there. Here's some of the details here. It is a fountain pen. It does come with that piston ink pump and a couple of cartridges. It comes in 3 different nibs. I ordered the medium because I thought that would be best for me. There are and I'll demonstrate the pump here. See, as you turn, you would normally take this pump out and then you put it into the ink bottle, and as you retract that piston, it pulls the ink up into the cartridge, and then you use it that way. But for these purposes, I just had a couple of different cartridges, which I take out a little box that ships with it. You put them back to back. There's an instruction manual on just how to do that. You put them back to back like that. We just demonstrated. Drop them into the pen. Turn the pen back on the cartridge, the nib end. Turn it into the receiving end, and it pops right in. You'll hear a little, and then your ink cartridge membrane has been split, and the ink will begin to flow, and it flows right away. It took me a few strokes to get it started, but once it started, you can see it's just coming right out of the pen without any problem at all. And the medium nib is a nice size for me in the writing that I do, and I felt comfortable with it. I thought the broad was a little too wide, and the fine just a little thin for for my purposes, because I might use this to draw, and I of course will also use it to write. So I wanted to test out some of the writing, and I'm not being fancy here, just trying to write out some words and use cursives here so I could test it out. By the way, it's the Ecridor, Ecridor, and not to be confused with Ecuador, which is a country in South America. So the Ecridor pen is produced in a lot of different models. This happens to be the chevron model. I'll take a little closer look at it toward the end of the video, but I'll give you a close-up look at it. It's got these little chevrons etched into the side of the pen, which, by the way, is coated in palladium, which is a very expensive and noble metal. So if you're interested in learning more about the rarity of some different types of metals, you can look those up. But I think that's pretty nice, and it gives the pen sort of a unique feel. It's very smooth in your hand. Not hard to hold, but I could imagine if you were writing for more than, say, 3 or 4 hours, your hand might get fatigued with the extra weight of a fountain pen of this substance. I mean, again, it's not heavy, but you notice it if you're used to holding like a plastic ballpoint pen or something like that, or a cheap fountain pen. You'll definitely notice the more substantial weight there is behind this pen. So it marks very nice, and I tried different angles. So from the side, from the top, backwards. The only time it gets scratchy is if you go too far at an angle. I also put the ink I would draw a line and then stop to see, because in some fountain pens, if you keep the pen applied to the paper and you stop, you'll see a pooling of ink as the ink leaks out of a cheaper nib. But there was no such pooling at all with this Caran d'Ache pen. Now this is really very, it's not a need by any stretch of the imagination. This is a definite want when it comes to writing instruments. So it's kind of a throwback to use a fountain pen. We live in a digital age. In America, a lot of school districts are doing away with even teaching cursive writing, or handwriting as it's sometimes called, just because technology and computers have brought us into a different age where there's not a lot of handwritten letters or anything like that anymore. But people need to sign their names to important documents, and that seems to that'll at least be with us for the foreseeable future, maybe until we go completely digital. But I think that the tactile way in which you handle a writing instrument and which way you use it is very important and says a lot about you. Your signature says a lot about you. Is it sloppy? Is it ungainly? Is it quick and hurried, or does it have some flourish to it? Does your signature look a little bit like an extension of you or a piece of art? I always think back on something a famous baseball player once said. His name is Harmon Killebrew. He was a baseball player, and he said, take the time to sign your signature well. Learn how to create a good signature, because your autograph may exist for many, many years, and it's just important when people look at it that they get a sense of who you are, and then you get that opportunity to share that. So I think a signature is important. Now, people who are artists, painters, drafts people like that know that a signature is important, because you sign every work you do just about with it. So I think, when I see a book that's been signed by an author or something, it's very sloppy, or it's one big line. It just seems like I don't know. I just don't like it. It's not something that, it doesn't seem very personal, and it doesn't seem very engaging, and it doesn't seem to be an extension of the person. So anyway, this is not something I normally review on the channel, and here's the cost. Like I said, it wasn't at all cheap at nearly $300 US. Now, I was able to get this pen on sale. If you look closely, you can see the chevrons here. But I thought this writing instrument fit me. And it's a throwback to when ladies and gentlemen actually used very fine writing instruments, and I really liked it. Now, I don't have a system for ranking these, because I don't normally rank fountain pens, but I found this excellent. This pen is just well made. The ink flows nicely. It's a joy to write and draw with. Just did a few little doodles, but I really like this pen, and I think it's, I'm just going to say it, I think it's worth every penny I spent on it. Now, some people may say, well, that's a splurge, think how good you could do, and this is a first world problem and all that, and I get that and I understand, but I work hard for my money, so I decide to spend it how I want. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share the video if you liked it, but I just want to say this Caran d'Ache Ecridor pen was just awesome. All right, well, thanks for watching, everybody. So long, have a great day. This has been Marty for owingsart.com.